Everybody, Rosematter here, and welcome to part 2 of my Let's Play of Project Eden's Garden, which is a Danganronpa fan game. So far, what I've played of this, I am super impressed with, blown away by everything. The look, the sound, the writing. It's just so on point. It is so in line with like the mainline games. It's hard for me to believe that this is a fan game, to be honest. So we have met our protagonist, Damon, the ultimate debater. We have met our cast of characters, the other ultimates, some interesting characters so far. They fit right in with the world. Just, it's crazy, like their designs, everything, just like, it's very good so far. So we have ended up in a weird building, as we always do, and we have been summoned to enter the building by somebody. Who I'm guessing is going to be like our headmaster. Now, I was saying this, whether this is going to be like a Monokuma type character, or maybe like a knockoff, another mascot, or maybe something completely different. We'll have to see. So I hope you guys are excited. So let's go ahead, let's dive back into Project Eden's Garden. Oh, wait. We gotta, wait, what? What? Hold up. We got a murder already for a person we haven't met yet. What the fuck? Okay, well this is certainly different. In front of me lay the battered, bloody body of a young woman. Now I'm trying to think, I'm like, was she... Hold up. How many people do we have here? Was this one of the people on the train? Is this someone... This is very different. Like, someone that we haven't been introduced to is dead.
What?
Is that girl dead? Why is there a dead body? What happened?
There's no way.
Is this another student?
Holy
Shit, what the shit? Dining hall people? You were in this building before. Tell us what's going on.
dude!
Yeah, why didn't you mention this other girl?
The hell?
I never saw her.
Really?
You were there too, bargain bin. Don't even. There's a floor below us. That's where I woke up.
Very funny.
And you missed a whole ass person? Yeah, right.
Hell no.
You saw her. You must have seen her. Come on, just admit it. Hey, there's a lot of doors I couldn't open, okay? Stop pressing me for answers, you...
Hold on.
I can corroborate Damon's story. There was never a body. Miss Madison and I walked through this exact hallway and saw nothing.
I wasn't expecting this.
So, between the time you left and the time you returned, this girl was murdered? You think she was murdered? Well, I don't know for sure, but what happened to her? Does that really look self-inflicted?
Oh shit!
So there's a killer running loose? Wah! But I don't recall hearing anything when I was waiting outside. Desmond can back me up, right?
Shit.
She's right. There was no screams, and no one left the building. So the killer's still inside? As more panicked shouts filled the corridor, Ava silently walked over to the body. Oi, what are you doing? She's totally gonna be my person that I have to, like, partner up with. Ignoring Grace's question, she crouched down beside the dead girl and poked her in the face.
What the? You...
The fuck is wrong with you? Stop that.
Strange.
It's not real.
Eh?
What? What? She's lying about it. This girl. She's just a dummy. A dummy?
How?
Nuh-uh, that's definitely a real body.
You're crazy!
Didn't you just say you were a liar? Why should we believe you?
It's the truth.
If you don't believe me, inspect it yourself. No one else is offering. I can do it. Wait, him?
Are we ready?
Well, how does that sound to everyone? He turned to look at each of us. I had my reservations, but when his gaze met mine, my lips instantly sealed shut. The look he gave me, it was unexpectedly intense.
Okay.
Yes, you can do it. The pirate casually approached the body and knelt beside it. Then, just like Ava...
Oh, be damned.
Would you look at that? She's right. It is a dummy.
For real?
For real?
Say what?
How did she know it was fake?
You see?
My intuition. Also, a corpse would smell. This doesn't smell.
Dude, no!
As if. Could you be any more suspect?
That ain't it.
Not just that. There's something under the dummy.
Huh?
What is it? A tablet. Jean rose from the ground and turned around to face us. Sure enough, he was holding a tablet. It was slid under the dummy. There's no blood on it, as far as I can tell. Nice hiding place. I wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't taken a closer look. Gives the impression I was supposed to, don't it?
For real?
Hey, What's on the tablet? Let me turn it on. He pressed a button, then walked over and held the tablet out for us to see. Ooh, it's loading something. After a few seconds, the loading symbol vanished. In its place was a photo of the girl. Alright, Kara Koskinen, Ultimate Teacher's Aide. What is this? However, the tablet hadn't finished loading. Just after that image, the victim is Kara Koskinen, the Ultimate Teacher's Aide. She was stabbed in the torso 28 times.
28 samples!
The victim also suffered chemical burns to the head, the most notable burns to her eyes and scalp. Cause of death, blood loss, time of death unknown. It reads like a body report. First, a dead body that's revealed to be a dummy. Now, a body report? What the hell's going on? Geez, took you long enough to find that tablet. Ahem, long ago, a heinous murder was committed, and the victim so happened to be an ultimate, much like yourselves. What? Before you is a perfect reconstruction of the crime scene, as well as an effigy of the victim with the appropriate injuries. It was quite emotionally draining to craft that dummy. It served as a strong reminder of what was lost. Sniff, she was such a nice girl. So much potential lost to violence. What is this man playing at? Anyway, it's your responsibility to figure out the details of her death. The surrounding area, the murder weapon, how she reacted in her final moments, etc. But don't worry about finding the murderer's identity. He's already right in front of you. See that gray man on the tablet screen? Yep, that's your guy. Please investigate the crime scene and gather as many clues as you can. After a certain period of time, you'll be asked to present your findings to me. Believe me, it's in your best interest to put your full effort into this. Have fun, everyone.
Not okay!
Investigation? What the hell?
Back off.
Fuck, enough of this already. I don't want any part in this. Stop telling me what to do. Grace grabbed a large chunk of rock from the floor and ran over to the speaker. Screaming in obscenity, she pulled her hand as far back as she could.
Brutal.
No way, was that the watch? Trying to destroy private property? That's Zap. Fuck.
Holy!
Is he for real? Is this school really trying to make us solve an old murder?
Don't say that!
Hold on, you guys. You can't just believe everything that strange man claims. Why would Eden's Garden Academy, any academy for that matter, do something like this? Even if it tried to, the Ultimate Talent Program would have stopped them. I wouldn't underestimate the school board executives. Money can get to people's heads and make them take risks they shouldn't. This academy said it was unique. Maybe this is their version of an entrance exam.
What a joke.
They're so obsessed with being different from the competition, they've forgotten what people want. More like they've forgotten how to be sane.
What did you say?
Would the UTP really be okay with this?
Think about it this way.
It seems pretty counterintuitive. Everyone would want to quit their enrollment after this. And sue.
I'm talking.
If this is the work of a separate group, why are they using the academy's name? As a way to hide their own, maybe? They might have even kidnapped us because we're attending Eden's Garden Academy.
So...
Explain. Well, what if they knew we all had to board a train? It would explain why we passed out. They boarded the train before us and planted the bag with the gas.
There's gotta be something.
Because this happened on the train to the academy, they could claim they are the academy.
If I may ask.
Everyone keeps saying they. Isn't it the speaker man who kidnapped us?
That's not it.
It obviously wasn't just him. Seizing a train, bringing 16 people to an unknown location? That takes a team to do. Of course, that raises another glaring question. Why us? Why have we been brought into this? Is it because we're ultimates? It's not like anyone's specialty is detective work. It just doesn't add up. I think I will let the rest of you handle this. I doubt I'm needed in this grotesque situation. I'll just be on my way. Yeah, that's okay. Actually, can I come with? I'd feel super bad leaving you all alone. Oh.
Sure.
Sure, I suppose.
You can do it.
Good luck solving the mystery, everyone. I know you can do it. On that note, Diana and Toshiko walked away in the direction of the room with the kitchen. Huh.
Don't get close.
I'm going with them. Screw this. This, I feel like, is a more appropriate reaction as nobody wants to deal with this. Kai took off down the hallway like his life depended on it, which is hilarious because, like, a murder didn't actually happen. This is just a reenactment, yet everyone's just, like, bailing. Geez, better than us. I don't know about all this. Will that man really let us go if we investigate?
Stay calm.
We won't know if we continue standing around like this. For now, all we can do is take the risk and do as he says. He's right. I need to brace myself and follow the directions I've been given. As of now, it's my only way to learn more information about my current situation. I can only hope that this ordeal will be over soon. Before I do anything else, I should go back over that tablet. Alright, the victim is Kara, the ultimate teacher's aide. She was stabbed in the torso 28 times. The victim also suffered chemical burns to the head. The most notable burns are to her eyes and scalp. Cause of death is blood loss, time of death unknown. There's a lot going on here. Chemical burns in addition to 28 stab wounds? Jesus, I don't want to believe anything the speaker guy says, but if this murder really is based on true events. Damn, the killer is totally sick in the head, so you have to wonder if there's a gun next to her too. I'm surprised that Eloise, she's a little bit of a, maybe a wilting flower a bit. She seems to get kind of like stressed out easily and panicky that she decides to stick around. Good on her, I say. Good on her.
I just want to go home.
I can't believe this is happening. It's just a dummy. It'll all be fine. She's clearly having a moment, not something I want to deal with right now. Wow. Maybe she won't be much help with us right now. She doesn't seem to do well in stressful situations. Now, Ulysses might be good. He's just gonna take notes of everything, and he seems like pretty composed. Ulysses was scribbling something down in his notebook.
I must take note of this.
Curious, corporate television can barely create convincing corpses. So how does one wind up here?
Huh?
What does that mean? He finished what he was writing and lowered the book from his face.
According to my notes.
You see, convincingly realistic mannequins like this are real, but rare. It's cheaper, albeit clunkier, to recreate a body using special effects, but that's not obviously the case here. Somehow, we have a mannequin indistinguishable from a real human. Our captors must not be tight on money.
Yes.
They could produce an amazing TV show, certainly. Like the music, I just like the music is like that kind of like rock guitar investigation music. It's so good. It's so good. It's so like the game. It's crazy. So this is based on a real case? I barely know the girl, and yet I feel horrible. I've had my fair share of grievances, but nothing like what she would have endured. I'd do anything to get back to my ship, even if I had to live through a never-ending storm. Jean seems to miss being out at sea. I guess I can't blame him. I want to be anywhere but here right now.
Oh boy.
Did you catch the look on Kai's face before he ran away? Dude was about to puke.
Yeah.
I guess the whole thing got the better of him.
For real?
Yeah, it's a really gruesome sight. I swear on my dragster I've never seen anything like
You
it.
get me?
I mean, I don't make a habit of running into dead bodies, but still, you know.
I know.
At the end of the day, it is just a puppet. It can't be any worse than a Halloween decoration.
Huh?
Where have you been trick-or-treating, Wolf Creek Crater? A discovery like this would traumatize anyone. Well, almost anyone. I'm fairly thick-skinned. He's clearly not in the right headspace for an investigation. I should just ignore him. What are you doing over here, Marky Mark? Just kinda... He seems to just kind of just hide away and just stare from the distance. Not saying he's suspicious or anything, but he's one to maybe keep an eye out for. Hey, are you investigating? I'll take that as a no. Alright, let's actually check out the scene here. So we've got the gun, which is interesting. So she was stabbed, she was burned, chemical burns. But nothing mentioned about a gun. Our captors gave us a lot of information about the victim. To their credit, what's written on the tablet seems accurate, but I should inspect the body just in case. Damn it, it's just a doll daemon. Stop hesitating. Interesting that, like, usually in the other Danganronpa games, like, you have characters that it might you know, like, obviously, Kyoko and stuff, where, like, it makes sense why they would be good at investigating, but, like, I'm trying to go through all of the ultimates. I don't think anybody would really be a great person to, like, be able to check out a crime scene. Maybe Wolfgang, because he's a lawyer. Maybe he's, like, you know, he has experience with, like, with crimes, but big difference between being, like, an investigator versus a lawyer. The doll was slumped against the door, her torso soaked in blood. Parts of her shirt had been ripped open, exposing bits of bloody, indiscernible pulp. I quickly took a step back, trying to control my breathing to avoid throwing up. It's just a doll. There's no reason to be afraid of a doll. Yeah, quite interesting. It's like... and it varies in games. Some games, like, it feels like the characters react more appropriately. Like, I feel like V3, not really the case. I felt like people are almost making too many jokes in light of dead bodies, and they weren't reacting super convincingly. But this, it's like, even though it's not real, people are still, like, reacting the way I feel like they should. The girl has been stabbed repeatedly. I don't need the tablet to know that. However, her cause of death, you would think it was a stab to the heart or something, but the tablet claimed blood loss. And they said something about chemical burns on, like, by her eyes and head. I don't see that on her. She looks pretty, other than the blood in her mouth, like, she looks pretty untouched. Taking a closer look, the wounds, they didn't seem excessively deep, and at least, not deep enough to pierce her heart. If she died from blood loss, what does that say about the killer? They probably could have killed her quickly if they wanted. Did they want her to suffer a slow death? Damn, this is messed up. Oh, hands. Alright. Her hands were surprisingly clean, all things considered. There were no marks or injuries, apart from her nails. It looked like there was dried blood underneath them. Okay, so she got a hold of the killer. Maybe, if only we had some DNA. Granted, also, this is a dummy. This is like a recreation of something that's already happened. Why was there blood under her nails, but not on the rest of her hand? I feel like that's a pretty common thing. Like, if somebody's attacked and they're, like, grabbing at a person and they, like, dig their nails in, they get some blood under there. Okay, so we've got the bullet tree. Okay, so let's check out the rifle. That's what I'm interested in. That's got blood on it. The initial sight of the doll shocked me so much I completely overlooked this rifle. Inspecting it now, I realized something. If the victim was stabbed, why was there a rifle near her body? That rifle... Could you step back a bit? I'm curious about something.
No.
What? No, I'm... Before I could finish my sentence, Jean walked over to where I was and picked up the gun. Hey, you're messing with the crime scene. Ignoring me, he released the magazine of the gun with surprising ease. From the top of the magazine protruded a loaded bullet.
I see.
Huh, that's interesting. This rifle hasn't even been used. Okay. Definitely a dangerous thing to have around. I'll put it down and guard it so no one gets any smart ideas. So he knows how to handle a gun. Better than him holding it. I don't know, it feels like something a ship captain? I don't know. Is gun handling something that's common with that? Damn, a loaded gun. What was going on in the killer's head? Why bring a gun to the crime scene and not even use it? Now that would make more sense for Desmond, the marksman. Unless that gun was purely for intimidation. It's not very logical, but it'd be a twisted game to play with the victim. A bloody knife lay next to the victim. It's safe to say this must be the murder weapon. That seemed to be all the evidence. Nothing else was catching my eye. I should check the inside of the closet now. Well, it definitely looks like Damon is taking charge of the situation. Here's these books here, a cup. Can I... Okay, let me just step back. There we go. I was like, why can't I check it out? That's why. Like the rest of the building, the inside of the closet was old and dilapidated. It was the last place I'd want to dig through, but I had to gather as much evidence as possible. Otherwise, I won't be able to present a strong argument. There might be more clues around here. I'm going to check this entire closet for evidence. No thanks. A person like her is probably more likely to cause a murder, not solve one. Alright, have fun with that. I am so interested about her ultimate liar. Like, how does somebody become the... Like, how is that an ultimate talent? If someone just... I mean, I guess it's a difference if you lie versus being a good liar, but how do you quantify that? And it does make it interesting, because it's just like, can we really trust anything? Can we even trust what her... you know, it's that whole thing, it's like, can we even trust, like, what her talent is? She's a liar? I feel like Wolfgang is going to be a pretty helpful person to have around. He must make every effort to examine the crime scene as thoroughly as possible, not for the sake of entertaining the people who kidnapped us, but for the sake of the victim. After all, this was based on a real murder, was it not? That was what the tablet said, though I'm still skeptical about the validity of that statement.
Check it out.
Hey, check out what's behind this door. Saying that, she stepped away from the corner.
Right.
It's a ladder. It doesn't seem like there's anything strange about it. Why was this brought to my attention again?
Dude, not cool.
I'm disappointed in you.
Huh?
So hackneyed.
You call that thing a ladder? It's so obviously a stepladder.
Seriously?
Aren't they practically the same thing?
Pardon me.
I have to agree with Miss Amber. Everyone knows an ace investigator must record his evidence as accurately as possible. That's certainly what the victim would want. Who said I was an ace investigator? I'm a debater, not an investigator. Blah. A guy that doesn't get my references is no fun to be around. Okay, the ladder, step ladder thing. That does sound familiar. Is that from like an Ace Attorney game or something? Because it says something about like an ace investigator. I'm gonna look that up really quick and see if I'm right. Okay, it was, and I feel ashamed that it took her saying that it was a reference and then Wolfgang saying something about an ace investigator for me. It is. So ladder versus stepladder, apparently that's like a reoccurring thing in the Ace Attorney series. In my defense, I have not played the OG games for quite a while, so. Alright, so I like Cassie. She's going to be making a lot of gaming references. We'll see if we can pick them out without her telling us directly that it's a game reference. I'm gonna check the peeps outside. Smell you later, lawyer man. Okay, Gary Oak. She's already out of here? Did she even investigate anything besides that stupid ladder? I need to inspect the area around me before I think about moving to the back of the room. Alright, alright. Let's check out this precious stepladder. We can't even do that. I wonder if any of these things might have blood on them. The shelf was packed with an assortment of towels. I briskly inspected them, lifting each towel to check for anything underneath. Many had gathered dust, but that was it. Nothing looked suspicious about them. Well, so much for that. It's a bucket. It's a pretty typical thing to find inside a janitor's closet. But why is it randomly lying here? There's nothing inside it except... What is the smell? It smelled like bleach? Ah, okay. So somebody cleaned up some blood, I imagine. Now we can check the back of the closet, perhaps? Nope. Not yet. There's a clock above the door. Doesn't seem like it works. It looks like that's everything around here. Okay. Thank you, game, for letting me know. Alright, lots of cleaning supplies here.
Gotta stay one step ahead.
I checked all the containers on the shelf. They're all full, with the exception of one. A bottle of bleach. Huh? Bleach? Huh. There was a bucket in this closet that reeked of it.
Makes sense.
That's probably not a coincidence, given this thing is supposed to emulate a real crime scene. It's crazy how much effort's been put into this. I can't think too much about what kind of situation we're in, or I'll never be able to handle it. Wouldn't it be wild if nobody actually died in this game? This was all just like, we had to solve reenactments of previous murders.
Golly.
These shelves are real intriguing. Take a look. Some of the cleaning brands go as far back as the 80s and 90s. You recognize them? 'Cause I use them. Why would you do that?
How should I put it?
Old chemicals do the job better, since there were fewer regulations about what's poisonous and all that, so this also means that this murder probably happened years and years ago. That's really sad to think that the 90s was years and years, decades ago. Ugh. Just don't ask where I got them. Don't want to alert the fuzz. I'm sure they don't care about her black market cleaning supplies. That security camera is brand new. So it's that, once again, it's like the old and new. So it was like in the generator room where it was like old stuff but new security cameras. Or like, I think he said something about like the laundry room was also like old and new stuff together. Now that she mentioned it, it does look out of place. You think it would have gathered dust like the other items in here. Did it recently get cleaned or something? My company's headquarters have similar ones installed, except these cameras are even more high-tech. Huh, typical school, spending more on security than educating their students. That's assuming this is even the Academy's doing. Okay, it seems like, other than the security camera and the fact that there was a bottle of bleach emptied, it doesn't seem like we've got much here. Okay. I had a feeling, though, because the fact that it didn't say, like, well, I've already checked out everything here. Maybe let's check out the camera again? It's another surveillance camera. Is the guy in the speaker watching us? Oh, right. I never actually checked out the camera. Winona just mentioned it. Just the thought makes my stomach turn. There we go. Well, we got the ding-dong, bing-bong. That was, Are we already doing a class trial? That seemed like a very short... Granted, I know it's a prologue. This is, like, pretty much like the tutorial. But still. Alright, everyone. That's time. Look at you all. You investigated the crime scene so well. It's enough to bring a tear to my eye. Jokes aside, please meet by the elevator for the class trial. You should find it somewhere around the Tree of Ignorance. Don't make me wait too long. I might start getting zap happy. See you soon. A class trial? What the hell does that mean? It sounds like that's the end of our investigation.
Let's see.
If we're done with this closet, we should go outside and talk to the others.
Come off the grass.
Oh wait, what the hell's a class trial? Your guess is as good as mine.
Duh.
Obviously, we're going to court. Court?
What?
He's going to put us on trial?
Listen to me.
Maybe that's where we'll talk about the clues we found.
Just saying.
It makes sense for our current situation. Investigation, clues, files. What else could the stuff be for?
Well put.
I would have loved it if Cassidy had made a joke about, like, this feels like a game that I've played before, but I can't put my finger on it. Good point. It does seem oddly similar to court procedures. Obviously, we're missing key suspects and witnesses, but they don't seem to be relevant to the case anyway.
Wait a minute.
He mentioned that this elevator was near the Tree of Ignorance, right? He must be referring to the room with the tree.
Focus.
Probably, yeah. It's the only thing I can think of. However, I don't recall seeing an elevator anywhere.
Just follow me.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get our butts over there. She keeps treating this like a dumb game. If we're really going on trial, that's going to be a nuisance to deal with.
Okay.
We might as well follow her. One by one, everyone left. I guess I have no choice but to go as well. Oh, we got, what is your name? Starts with a T. You are so tiny. You are so little. Toshiko, little gremlin. Hello, little gremlin. How do you remain so stoic at a time like this? Aren't you worried at all?
It's simple.
No, not really. It's not like we're investigating some high-stakes murder. It's just a dummy, that's it. Yes, quite. I completely concur. She's obviously faking it. Without even looking at her face, I can tell she's sweating bullets. Interesting, huh? I wonder why she's so, like, I mean, if this is a murder that's happened a long time ago, we have nothing to do with it. It's kind of a weird reaction. I'm guessing we have to pull this thing here, the bust. And then, I mean, there's a pretty clear door in that tree. When I arrived at the tree, I saw people were already bickering.
Check it out.
A big tree, Eden's Garden Academy, overused religious symbolism is tight. I really hope we get let out after this.
Oi, you.
Can you confirm, liar chick? Why are you asking her?
Come off the grass.
Come off the grass. She's clearly faking her talent.
Am I hearing you right?
And that makes her one of the bad guys? Who would want to fake their identity besides someone with a secret to hide? I bet she's the one who brought that gas bomb onto the train.
Really?
And she didn't think to bring a mask to avoid passing out or whatever?
If no one else is gonna say it.
If all you needed was a mask to protect you, then oh yeah, Jet, right? Hey, don't look at me. I literally passed out. This helmet's got plenty of holes in it. I'd suffocate otherwise.
I've got something to say.
No, the liar chick's totally sus. Just look at how calm she's been acting. She somehow knew the dead body was a dummy, then she poked it in the face? That's not normal. I told you, it was my intuition. Intuition my ass.
Hold your horses.
It's not unbelievable. My gut told me we should inspect the doll. Now, look at us. We're on a mission to solve her murder.
Any clue?
Where's this elevator supposed to be again? That's right. There's meant to be an elevator around here, but all I see is the Tree of Ignorance. Maybe we're missing something here. Or maybe we're being played for fools. It looks like it's missing an eye. Do we have to find the eye to make it work? At the base of the tree was a marble bust depicting a figure in the creepy mask. There were cracks all over the mask, and one of the eyes was even missing. How old must this thing be?
What you doing?
You noticed the statue too, don't you? Oh, yeah.
All right.
What's up with the statue? There's definitely something whack about it. I just can't put my finger on what. The mask is broken. There's a piece missing.
But
Is that weird? The statue's probably, like, super old. It makes sense it would be cracking and stuff.
I'm talking.
No, this definitely seems intentional.
Way.
Like, it's crappy on purpose? Even so, it's not relevant to the elevator, is it? Well, you know.
What about...
Maybe if we find the piece and place it back on the statue, something will happen, like a puzzle-solving game. That sounds kind of far-fetched, but it wouldn't hurt to try.
Sounds easy.
You saying we gotta look around for the other part of the mask? God damn it, fetch quest. Hold on to your butts, because I got the eyes of a predator.
Whatever.
This isn't a cup. Never mind. With that, everyone started to search the tree again. Some people inspected the tree itself, while others scoured around it. After what seemed like only a few minutes, Grace stood up frantically with something in her hand. Oi, everyone, I found it. Okay, good. I was worried I'd have to like go around the whole building and look for it. We gathered around Grace to see what she was holding.
Nice.
Nice, that must be it. What should we do with it? Do we just stick it back in the mask?
Leave it to me.
I'm thinking that it's the matchmaker girl. Like, she was just kind of like went off on her own. She's been kind of weird. I don't know. Keeping to herself, but overly like friendly at the same time. Like, I'm gonna get everybody together. I mean, she's a matchmaker. I guess it like makes sense that she wants to do that, but somewhat, because that mask, I feel like when I was here before, it wasn't cracked like that and missing an eye. So it happened while we were all in the other place, and then a couple people just decided to leave. I don't know.
Soybean.
Back off, Hercules. You ain't the one who found it. Grace brought the piece over to the statue and slotted it right into the mask. I mean, the easiest explanation, it's one of the people that's running this game who did it while we were out of this building. And then nothing happened.
Fail.
Oh, that was an anticlimactic click. Suddenly, the ground we were standing on began to shake.
golly.
Oh, golly.
Oh, shit!
Are we about to die? What? Yo, I was right.
Whoa.
That actually worked? A fucking secret passageway in a tree? I never thought I'd see that. The Tree of Knowledge, a symbol of sentience, intuition, and understanding, exists here only as a barren replica. The Tree of Ignorance emulates the wonder of nature, but does not achieve it. And justly so, for ignorance often aspires to be seen as wisdom.
Game over, man! Game over!
Oh god, now he's spitting random philosophy? We're so fucked. Will this take us to the elevator?
What about...
Well, there's stairs at the foot of the opening.
Yep.
What are we waiting for? Let's explore.
If I may ask.
Why the sudden rush?
Duh.
I want to get home, duh.
Elementary, my dear.
If we get this over with, we'll get out quicker. It's simple math.
Sure.
Yeah, Toshiko's being kind of, cagey. What? I don't know. Fair enough. So we just walk in, do we? One by one, we approach the opening of the tree. And descended into the darkness. Oh my gosh, like, it looks just like I know, I'm saying this a lot, I'm sorry, but it's true. Like, they got, like, the shading, the style, that kind of, like, that look is just, oh, it's so accurate. This is an elevator. I see. The elevator's underneath the tree. Reckless investments, I'm telling you. With a rumble, the elevator began its descent. We stood in silence, 16 worried strangers plummeting into the unknown. That's what we were, after all. Random people thrown into this horrible place. And for what? Some twisted man's game? A fake crime scene, an investigation, a creepy statue, an elevator, and a tree? None of this was the work of your average kidnapper. This was something much bigger, and in no way could it be connected to Eden's Garden Academy. The elevator began to slow, snapping me out of my thoughts. I stood up tall, and when movement stopped completely, the doors opened. Alright, let's see if we're gonna meet... Now there's a chair there, so maybe we will get to see whoever is behind this. In front of us was a large circular hall, supported by marble pillars. In the center of the room, 16 podiums had been arranged into a circle. I'm so excited to get to do a class trial, it's been so long. Were those for us? I'd be interested to see like what kind of games. They said stuff about truth bullets, so we're gonna have the truth bullets like the OG games. I wonder if they're gonna have their own mini games that are unique to this game. Welcome everyone, I hope you enjoyed the elevator ride, even if it was a bit quick. As you can see, this is the trial room. Each podium has a name on it. Find your designated podium and stand there until I give out further instructions.
However,
And if we don't comply, then I'll zap you, of course. Even the threats, like in the other Danganronpa games, it would like, you would literally get killed. This one is just like, it's like a dog wearing a shock collar. It seems, he might be downplaying it, but it seems like definitely more low stakes, but I'm sure it'll ramp up eventually.
Back off.
Not this zapping shit again. Just face it, Miss Madison, we have to go along with his demands. It looks like there's a few smart ones in the pack, eh? Well, come along now. We don't have all day. There was no avoiding it. We had to assume our places. Scanning the faces around me, everyone wore similar expressions. Discomfort, anger, worry. It didn't end. We'd been kidnapped and forced to play as pawns in some inane game. No free will, no choice in our actions. All we could do was move forward. I mean, Cassidy looks pretty okay with things. I think she's just treating this like an actual game. She's not taking this very seriously. To be fair, when it's not a real body you're dealing with, it does feel kind of low stakes. We had to hope for an escape, a way to run from this twisted place. We had to solve this murder case. Alright, view the trinkets. Okay, so we got our truth bullets here. We don't have many. I feel like this is going to be quite easy because this is essentially the tutorial. Alright, the tablets. So, the victim Kara, stabbed in the torso, also suffered chemical burns to the head, on eyes and scalp. Then again, I did say it didn't look like she really had anything on her face. It said like her eyes were closed, so I'm sure maybe if you open them, like her eyes would just be burnt to shit. Cause of death, blood loss, time of death unknown. So we've got the bloody knife, we've got the assault rifle, that apparently was never used. We've got the bucket with bleach, and the victim's hands. Okay, so not too many, so I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm very excited to see how accurate this is going to be to the games and what they might do differently. Oh my goodness, this is very exciting.
Let's begin with a brief explanation of the class trial. The objective here is simple. Explain how the murder took place. Using evidence you've gathered during the investigation, you will argue what you believe happened to the victim. Should you all agree on the right answer, you will be free to leave this place. Should you all agree on the wrong answer, well, you'll find out.
It can't be that easy, can it? We just solve this murder and we get to leave? Nah.
That's all there is to it. Have fun, everybody.
That would be so disappointing if, like, I know it's a prologue, but what if that was it? What if that was literally, that's all we get, and we never get any more of this game? I'd be heartbroken, because I'm really enjoying it so far.
somebody, get me out of here.
If this is something we must discuss, I know a good place to start.
Get me out of here, 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 get me
Ah! Somebody get me out of here!
What happened
Oh shit! They fried her brain!
Calm down. It's only a shock. She won't suffer any permanent side effects. If I wanted to see the brain dead bigger, I'd just turn on the telly. On that note, please, carry on.
Holy shit, the people running this thing aren't playing around.
As you were saying, Wolfgang?
Right. The way I see it, the objective of this
By the way, can I get like a seat with this thing? I'm just gonna be an onlooker. It's only fair.
You're seriously not going to contribute?
What am I even supposed to do?
Put your detective hat on, buddy. We're here to solve a mystery.
Hey, he wasn't there. Like, he just took off. He took off. Who else took off? I think,
Yeah. Who murdered that dummy chick, right?
a couple of them left.
Not who murdered her, how they murdered her.
Did that tablet not explain it?
It listed her wounds, yes, but it didn't explain how they were inflicted.
So they said blood loss. You think that the 28 stab wounds would do it.
Probably because it's so obvious.
But, Miss Amber, you didn't even read the tablet.
And I don't have to.
Would you look at that? A debate's already underway.
These guys are clearly confused. I need to stop them before they arrive at the wrong conclusion. Oh gosh, do you hear that? That's the sound of a non-stop debate approaching. During non-stop debates, oh, it's just like it. Your classmates will speak one after another without interruption. Students may say things that contradict the truth. And it's your job to determine which statements must be broken in order to progress the trial. For your ammo, you have been armed with the truth bullets you gathered during the investigation. Truth bullets that are relevant to the debate will be loaded into your truth cylinder. Use the mouse to aim your reticle and press the right key to fire. You'll want to aim for words highlighted in gold. Those are the weak spots. A lie or contradiction may be hiding within a weak spot. Carefully compare your classmates' statements to the evidence you gathered. And use the correct truth bullets to destroy the relevant weak spot. If things are flying by too fast, use the spacebar to concentrate. Okay, they've even got the concentrate. This will temporarily slow down time. Speaking of time, be sure not to run out of it. That's an automatic game over. Not that someone of your caliber would ever fail. Anyway, press the F3 key to revisit the controls whenever you wish. That's all for now. Don't jump to too many conclusions. Okay. Alright, so I have to make sure that I select the right truth bullet, though. Oh, literally only have one.
The
Okay.
mystery was never about who killed Kara.
Oh my gosh,
she
it's
died.
so...
Is that true?
It's just like it. It's just like it.
Objection.
Objection.
Obvious what the murder weapon was.
I didn't get a good look at the crime scene, but the body was pretty bloody.
And what could have spilled that blood? Besides that big, scary gun.
Alright, that's gotta be it.
That's right. There was a gun.
There was also a knife.
By a man.
And
Still
the...
breathe.
and also the tablet said 28 stab wounds. He's just like, you were an idiot. The loudest voices in the room aren't always the smartest. Fortunately, an ununiformed argument is never difficult to shoot down. Okay.
The mystery was never about who killed Kara, but how she died.
Is that true?
Is there a way to fast forward it?
Objection. It's obvious what the murder weapon was.
I didn't get a good look at the crime scene, but the body was pretty bloody.
And what could have spilled that blood?
All right, here we go.
Besides that big, scary...
No, that's wrong!
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna take this. This is the fourth Danganronpa game. Like that's all it is.
Investigated the crime scene to begin with.
Whoa, what? I searched that place from top to bottom.
All right, then tell me, how was a fully loaded assault rifle used as the murder weapon?
That's easy. It wasn't. Obviously, the shooter reloaded their gun to full capacity. Any smart shooter could tell you that. Right, Desmond?
Why are you bringing me into this?
Except, the victim suffered multiple stab wounds to the torso. If a gun was fired, not only should the body have had bullet wounds, but there would be shell casings from the fired bullets. We saw neither at the crime scene.
Details. If the gun didn't do that, chicken, what was the actual murder weapon?
The actual murder weapon. That's obvious. It was the bucket. the stepladder.
I got it.
The bloody knife. It's just so blatantly obvious. It was literally right next to the victim's
It's
body.
almost too obvious.
Why so Cam's razor gotta ruin everything?
Interesting. Both the knife and the rifle were present at the crime scene, but only the knife was used.
Kind of weird, choosing the inferior weapon.
Nothing beats the sting of a sharpened blade.
If the killer didn't use the rifle, why was it at the crime scene?
Maybe it came from inside the closet.
Don't see why you'd be storing a gun in a janitor's closet.
Man, I don't know. What if it's not even related to the murder?
Of course it's related. It's covered in blood.
Right, yes.
Oh no. Everyone's starting to yell.
This debate's getting out of control fast. I need to say something. Wolfgang's not really stepping in. I thought maybe like he would be able to control the group a little bit better. Alright, so now we've got 2 truth bullets.
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife were next to the victim's body.
Yet they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
Well, you know what, in close combat...
That gun didn't even work. These days, it's all about aesthetics. over
Okay, about the gun not
That's
working.
like your opinion, lady.
So tablet, once again, is our only truth bullet.
Then the killer would have no reason to bring it with them. And yet, they did.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
Okay, so there's not much there. There's one's agreeing with them. Blue means you agree, right? Like you're confirming. It's easy to assume the killer was the one holding the gun, but considering the detail of the victim's death, I'm inclined to think otherwise. So the victim, so Kara brought a gun with her, like knowing maybe that there would be a confrontation and then got maybe jumped and stabbed. Okay, so the thing there was somebody said something about like assuming that the killer was the one
next to the victim's body.
who had the gun.
They opted for the knife. Odd choice.
In close combat, the knife is better.
Didn't even work.
Apparently, where it's like with a gun, you need to be a certain distance away for it to really be effective.
Opinion, lady.
If the gun was broken, then the
Well, come on! No! I just missed it. It's happening again. It's happening again.
they did.
Okay, so it's Winona.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
Okay.
To reiterate,
I wish I could.
both the
I wish I
rifle
knew how to
and
make
the
this go
knife
faster.
were next
Oh,
to the
whoops!
victim's body.
I'm just
opted
firing
for the
guns.
knife. Odd choice.
Or firing bullets like.
I bet that gun didn't even work. These days, it's all about aesthetics over effectiveness.
That's like your opinion,
I'm afraid to
lady.
press different buttons. Okay, so here it is. There we go.
No, that's wrong!
Stop that thought right there. If we keep assuming the killer had the gun, we'll end up running in circles.
What? You think the killer was unarmed?
No, they were definitely armed. With the knife. The reason they didn't use a gun is probably because they never had it to begin with.
But then, who did?
Easy. The victim.
Whoa, the dummy had the gun?
If it wasn't the killer, it has to be her. She must have brought it to the closet. She was probably carrying it before the murder, but dropped it when the killer attacked her.
Oh, I guess that makes some sense.
Complete sense.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Oh, here we go, Wolfgang.
Aren't you overlooking something?
I was waiting for him to step in and he'd be like someone who is going to contradict me.
Huh?
The victim was stabbed from the front, meaning she could have seen the killer coming, correct?
But like I said, like if you ambush someone in a closet, you're not going to be able to get the gun off before someone can stab you.
If so, why didn't she shoot them?
A stealth attack!
Yeah.
I bet the killer memorized her AI movements.
That girl must have been killed before she had the chance to defend herself.
That's not technically true.
Oh, that's right. She had the blood under her
There's
fingernails.
evidence of a struggle between the victim
That's
and the killer.
right. Specifically evidence that shows the victim attempted to fight back.
This is it. We found dry blood under the victim's fingernails, which implies she was clawing at her attacker. Of course, no explanation is definitive without photo proof of the killer, but I'm confident this is what happened.
Why would you resort to scratching when you're carrying a gun?
Did something get in the way of her using it?
Wonder if that killer stole it from her.
She should have seen or heard him coming from the hallway at the very least.
Why do you think she was in the hallway?
That's where the fight happened, right?
I think you're getting ahead of yourself. How can we be sure the fight happened there?
Maybe the fight started in the hallway, and after it ended, her body was dragged into the closet.
If that happened, shouldn't there have been streaks of blood on the floor or in the hallway?
Maybe that's what the bleach was for, to clean up the blood.
Drag marks. Can't say I saw any.
It was merely a jest. No need to take it so seriously.
Instead of dragging the victim, what if the killer carried her? I don't know why they would want to do that, but it would explain the lack of drag marks.
But then, wouldn't the killer have been covered in
Blood. Aye. It should have gotten everywhere. Those wounds were brutal. A few inches deep, I reckon. Carrying her would have done nothing to stop the blood flow.
Good point.
She was obviously killed in the closet. That's where the blood was?
Yes, you're right. I'm so sorry for derailing the conversation.
Was there a lot of blood? I mean, granted, the bleach could have been used to clean up blood, whether it was in the hallway or the closet, but I feel like was there a lot of blood in the closet? There was blood on her, but I'm trying to think of how much blood was around her.
Moving on. That fight. The victim had the gun, but she was overpowered?
If she wanted to, she could have just, you know.
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
There must be something we're missing, something that explains how the victim was overpowered. And I know I'm the only one who can figure that out. He's got a lot of confidence in himself. This is basically just like a high stakes debate, but still, you act like he's the lawyer. All right. I'll talk about agree points. During the last nonstop debate, you would have noticed some phrases were blue. I bet you weren't expecting that, huh? Well, I mean, I was, because I've played these games before. Those phrases are called agree points. They're the counterpart to weak spots. As the name would suggest, if an agree point aligns with the evidence you've gathered, you can use your truth bullet to prove it correct. Simply aim your reticle at it as you would with a weak spot and shoot. In your pursuit of the truth, you must be prepared to corroborate your classmates' testimonies. When it would be wise to do so, it's for you to figure out. Good luck. All right. It is nice to kind of have like it does feel like familiar, but it is nice to kind of have, okay, now this will be interesting because now we've got multiple.
Fast one and knocked the gun out of her hand.
By the sounds of it, those two did have a crazy tussle.
But she still carried a gun. So why didn't she shoot?
I bet that girl didn't even see them coming.
Maybe she thought the killer was her friend? I know I wouldn't hurt a friend.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
She tried clawing their eyes out.
Then again, who's to say that the dried blood isn't maybe because the whole thing, the chemical burns. The chemical burns are from the bleach. The bleach was used on her. She couldn't see. Because I bet what happened was the person probably threw the bleach on her first and then stabbed her. Oh shit. Oh, who was it? Was it Kai who said something like she probably couldn't see? Why did the victim not shoot her attacker? Everyone's got a theory, but who has the actual answer? Okay, I'm gonna go with that one.
Killer pulled a fast one
The
and
bucket.
knocked the gun out of her hand.
We'll try the bucket.
By the sounds of it,
Maybe her clawing, like the dried blood wasn't from the victim attacking the killer, but from maybe clawing at her own face?
Why didn't she shoot?
I bet that girl didn't even see them.
That's it. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay.
Appreciate the support, but you're not talking any sense.
Whoops. Now even the pirate's scolding me. What was I thinking?
That slimy killer pulled a fast
So
one
much for that.
and knocked the gun out of her hand.
by the sounds of it, those two did have a crazy tussle.
I still feel like I'm on the right mark with the bleach in the eyes.
Why didn't she shoot?
Maybe it's the tablet instead about...
That girl didn't even...
Let's try that. Yes, yes. Yeah, alright, wrong thing. I think I just got ahead of myself. Because they're going to talk about, like, why didn't she see it? And then I'll be like, the bleach.
John actually has a point. The victim probably couldn't see what was going on. According to the tablet, she suffered chemical burns to the face and eyes.
Yeah.
That sort of injury would have effectively blinded her. Also, inside the janitor's closet, there was a large empty bottle of bleach. That's probably the chemical that caused the burns.
Blinded? With bleach? That's horrible!
All that pain, yet she still managed to fight back?
She sure put up a struggle. Without a gun, I guess the next best thing was her hands.
So the killer was definitely the one who blinded her.
Indeed. Knowing she had a gun, he blinded her to make her less dangerous.
Interesting that Wolfgang says he. And I know maybe that's just like a, what's the word, like a reflex? Because most killers are male, but still.
Then, when he pinned her against the door and stabbed her, she tried to retaliate.
Until eventually dying from her wounds.
Jeez, this is brutal. Couldn't they have toned down the violence?
The past is in the past, and we can't change that. All we can do is solve her untimely death, eh?
I mean, by the sounds of it, we've already figured it out, right?
No, not yet.
Seriously?
But we've already discussed so much!
Girl, you've clearly never done one of these class trials. We have barely started.
We know she was armed. We know she was blinded. We figured out how she died. How is this not a closed case?
Please understand, I'm proud of everyone's hard work so far. Because of you, we're one step closer to bringing the victim justice.
This was never about the dummy.
However, we should think of this case like an equation. Knowing how it works is only half the struggle. Now we need to figure out why.
As in, the motive?
You're on the right track.
You speak like we have any information on the killer. The man's a stock image. He doesn't even have a name. What are we supposed to ascertain from that? That he's a non-character?
Not every answer will be written down for you. Sometimes actions speak louder than...
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold the phone!
It looks like she got over her shock finally. It's like, it was relatively quiet. Now that she's back on it, it was like, it's gonna get loud.
Grace?
Whoa, what? Since when was Grace back to normal?
Right now, soybean. Watching you guys try to solve this mystery has been like watching a dumpster catch on fire. I guess all that smoke must have clouded your vision, 'cause there's a big-ass elephant in this room.
Oh, is she gonna get on about like it's Ava?
An elephant in the room?
That's giving us too much credit.
So the killer incapacitated that girl. She had a gun, it makes total sense. Problem is, you've yet to explain how he used the bleach.
I sort of assumed he spilled it on the victim.
Right. He just tipped the bottle over her.
That bottle is where the bleach came from, sure. But I doubt the bottle itself was involved in the murder. When we found it, it was neatly ordered on a shelf near the back of the closet. The gun and knife were just thrown on the floor. So it's weird this weapon was handled so differently.
Do you think the killer just poured the contents of that bottle into something else?
Sure, before the actual murder took place, I'd say.
The bucket.
And what is this something else? Go on. Explain it before this dumpster turns molten.
She's really stubborn about this, but I get the point she's trying to make. Before we move on from this subject, we need to make sure its logic is completely sound. Alright then, let's put out this fire. Oh, okay, I guess there's more to it than that. We'll try it out.
Well, if the original bottle's been emptied, where'd the bleach go?
Bucket.
Into another bottle?
Would you
What
consider
about
that
a container?
a container?
There were a
Okay.
bunch in the closet.
Alright, I'm guessing that's gonna be it.
The killer had a secret water gun. So when the victim came in, pow! He squirted her in the eyes.
Hey, the ink vanishes when the battle's over.
Call the fire brigade, Grace.
To inflict those chemical burns, the killer had to use something, but what? Alright, well that's a little pretty easy.
If the original bottle's been emptied, where'd the bleach go?
Into another bottle?
What about a
I got it.
She's correct. The killer put the chemicals in a bucket. Or, more specifically, the same bucket we found at the crime scene. After all, it reeked of bleach. If the killer didn't use it to transport bleach, what else did they use it for? Personal cleaning? I doubt it.
Yo, that makes sense.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Okay, cool. So, how'd the killer use that bucket to spill bleach in the victim's eyes?
It would be a fairly heavy bucket, so it's unlikely he threw it on her.
She'd shoot him before he even had the chance. Use your brain, mate.
Really? Does it seem like that's that big of a I mean, I don't know.
Of course.
Maybe it's a big dude like Jean.
apologies.
I don't know. It's a good question. How was the killer able to get a hefty bucket of chemicals into the victim's eyes, especially without her knowing? There must be some kind of clue missing here. Think, Damon, think.
Even if he did manage to splash her, the girl should have sustained intense facial
Right.
burns.
Good point, good point.
However, aside from her eyes, her face was relatively untouched.
Well, if you check the tablet, it says
Oh.
she had burns.
She walked... Okay, I see. Oh, it's probably the ladder, right? The step ladder probably had something to do with it. Like it was probably used it to put it on top of the door when she walked in. It fell on her head, and that's why she's got the chemical burns on her scalp.
Burns
Easy.
to the scalp.
Easy.
How does that work? Unless those chemicals came from above?
I mean, that's the whole point of this. This is supposed to be easy. I shouldn't get too cocky. Above. Yes, that's right. Above.
Did the killer somehow suspend the bucket in the air? Maybe there was a mechanism that made it tip over when someone entered the room.
Where's this bucket supposed to be again?
Above. Which, well, could mean anything.
Now, either they put it on top of the door, or they were just standing on the ladder and poured it on her when she walked in.
Killer hiding above the door frame?
There's no way they were up there. There's nothing for them to sit or hold on to.
Yeah, they just used the ladder to put the bucket on
Not
top.
to mention, they couldn't have stabbed her from up there.
And if there's no place for the killer to sit, then there's no place for the bucket to sit.
Unless you take into account the size difference.
Eh?
The space above the entrance might not be able to support a person, but it could still support something as small as a bucket.
And that thing supporting the bucket?
The killer wanted two things: for the bucket to be above the victim and for it to spill on her when she entered the room. In other words, he needed to balance the bucket, but on what?
I got it. I don't know how we overlooked this, but I've got it. The killer just balanced the bucket on the door.
Like in those water bucket pranks people film?
Exactly. When the victim came into the room, she pushed open the door and caused the bucket to fall on her. This would make it so she couldn't shoot back or even get a chance to see her assailant. When the bucket hit the ground, it probably rolled away. That'd explain why we found it a couple feet from the victim.
That is a possibility, yes.
It sounds like the best conclusion.
There's just one problem. How was the killer able to reach that high?
Cassie's gonna be like, yeah, my whole ladder thing finally came into play.
Unless they were abnormally tall, it'd be difficult to place something on top of that door.
Winona, you were in the room with us, were you not? Where the ladder was? I'm sure you
Well,
were.
Let's use that as our next point of discussion. How did the killer set up this trap?
Okay, I know that this is just a tutorial mission or a trial, but I'm like, oh gosh, like, it's so easy. I'm waiting for it to get a little bit more complicated. To balance that bucket on the door, the killer would need to reach pretty high. Was there anything at the crime scene they could have used as a boost? If I can answer that, it will add further credibility to my theory. Okay, good. I was like, please don't tell me that we have to go into a whole, like, non-stop debate about this.
This is it. There was a stepladder hiding behind the closet door. The killer probably used that. After climbing it, they could position the bucket right on top of the door.
Figures.
My precious stepladder? You think the bad guy used my super duper obvious stepladder?
Match point. Occam's razor.
Yes, it appears our killer didn't care much for subtlety. No matter how obvious it seems, it's the only answer that makes sense.
It was the only knickknack of its kind, too. If there's something else that killer could have used, it's escaping me.
I see. It makes sense with what we've got so far, but I'm not done yet. I still have one last
Why is she
question
being
for
so
you,
antagonistic, other than that's just who she is?
Please just leave us alone. Oh, I'm so tired.
Hey, don't be like that. Grace may be loud, but her questions have really helped our discussion.
Diana definitely seems like a peacemaker, where she's trying to, like, get people to not argue and be, like, trying to see the good, in where she's like, Kai might not be a nice person, but don't pick on him. Or like, hey, she might be a little bitchy, but, like, she's helping us out.
Anyway, what was the killer doing when that bucket poured onto the girl's head?
He obviously didn't just stand there and observe.
I have to agree. They must have been hiding somewhere, waiting for her to arrive. Somewhere nearby, I'd assume. Alright. say in the back of the janitor closet, perhaps?
I got it. I've got it. The killer was hiding in the back of the closet. If he was pressed up against the furthest shelf and facing the entrance, there'd be a diagonal path between him and his victim. I say diagonal because that's the only way he can make a direct charge forward. Also, when the victim entered the room, she would have been standing with her back to the hallway, right outside the killer's range. That's why the stab wounds were only made to her chest.
Creating the crime scene we found! Great job, guys! We're actually doing this!
That was the last mystery, right? We must have put everything together now.
Even if it's all fake, I feel really bad for this victim.
It's an ugly sight, but she's no victim.
Huh?
I mean, the fact that there was a confrontation, she went there with a gun. So...
Well, technically she is, but let's be real. The girl was carrying a gun. She probably provoked the killer, and they killed her in self-defense. It's a clear-cut case of the hunter becoming the hunted.
I don't know about that, because there's a lot of setup that needs to be done. I think there was going to be a confrontation where it's like the person told her to meet them, and then she suspected that they were going to attack her, so that's why she brought the gun.
That's no excuse.
What?
There's no justifying murder. Killing a woman is the worst thing a man could do.
You're emanating a sizable amount of emotional tension.
Okay.
Are you okay?
He does seem very protective of women. I feel like there's something to this here.
There's no excuse. There never was an excuse. 28 stab wounds! No girl, no person should ever suffer Kara's fate.
Wait, who's Kara?
Oh! I was like, maybe he's got some... I know that he knows the victim's name, but it's like, it seems almost like personal.
It was the victim's name! Didn't anyone read the tablet?
Well, it's good to see him, like... There we go, he's getting emotional.
I agree with you, dude. But you don't have to shout out your point.
Oi, what's all this about? We figured out the case. Stop trying to drag it on.
No. We're not finished here.
Huh?
He really should have been the protagonist, I feel like.
There's no murder without a proper motive. We need to discuss why Kara died.
I am not going this far for a fictional murder case. We aren't looking for a murderer. We're looking for answers, which we have.
Do you turn in a half-finished exam, Winona? An essay without its conclusion? This isn't about efficiency, this is about being right. Or do you, a supposed entrepreneur, not value integrity?
What the hell?
Let's just talk about the motive. There's no harm in doing that, right?
Well, what was the motive? Was the killer fighting for their life? Or were they going out of their way to murder?
Maybe the gun freaked him out.
If I was in the killer's shoes, I'd definitely be nervous. Thing is, while acting out of self-defense is possible, since when does it look like this?
Alright, there was a lot of setup for it to be self-defense.
Given the severity, I'd liken it to a crime of passion.
Something done on impulse?
What if they were frightened? A spooky thing might have set them off big time.
That's wrong. There's no way this was done in self-defense. No matter what excuse the killer uses, it doesn't change the fact they have blood on their hands.
Yo, bud, you seem a little pressed.
Silence! I won't allow this!
Wow, things are getting emotional. Well, you've only been using logical arguments to further the trial so far. Now might be a good time to change your approach. Introducing the pathos Oh, is this something new? Or maybe it's just another term for something that's been in the Danganronpa games. During nonstop debates, the emotionally charged commentary of your classmates will appear as purple text. These comments are called pathos statements. You can absorb these pathos statements by hovering over them with your reticle and pressing E or LT. The pathos statement will then be loaded into your truth. Okay, I feel like there was something similar to this. Okay, so E. Find a weak spot that is directly contradicted by the pathos statement and fire. If successful, you'll make a powerful emotional argument to counteract your opponents. Stay on the lookout for pathos statements. While you'll always be able to advance the trial using pure logic, emotional arguments can lead to some unique conversations. Interesting, alright.
To kill Kara so easily and without restraint. There is no way to justify this.
Take a chill pill, man.
You expect me to stay calm? This was the sadistic killing of one of humanity's brightest.
We shouldn't make a lot of assumptions about the killer's morals. This could have been self-defense.
You don't even know the damn killer. Just the crime scene they left behind.
Maybe he
This
does
killer,
know.
dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
But how can we do that? There's no reason.
E. E? Did I don't know. I didn't turn that into a... I pressed E.
So says the ultimate liar.
Ah, I did that wrong. Was this murder justified, or was it truly unforgivable? I feel like I have an obligation to find the truth.
To kill Kara so easily and without restraint. There is no way to justify this.
Take a chill pill, man.
You expect me to stay calm? This was the sadistic killing of one of humanity's
So I think I have to do right click E to absorb it, right? I've already forgotten.
This could have been self-defense.
You don't even know the damn killer. Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
But how can we do that? There's no reason.
Okay, E. No! E. I did it again. I did it again. Hold on, let me just check.
So says the ultimate liar.
No. Okay. There we go. Okay. Hold, absorb empathy. Cycle bullet. Okay, I'm doing it wrong. I was doing it wrong. I was right clicking. I have to do E and then release it as a truth bullet. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, actually, was there a thing about how to fast forward? Speed up for shift. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, let's do that.
Just the crime scene they
Okay.
left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
But how can we do that? There's no reason to trust
E. E. There it did. Okay, we did it. We did it.
So says the ultimate liar.
Now, I don't have a lot of time. I have to figure out where I have to use this for. Lawyer's intuition. I guess it would be the thing maybe that,
Kill Kara so easily and without restraint.
Okay, so let's go ahead and shift. It's the thing I think that Ava said.
Don't even know the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
But how can we do that? There's no trust you.
No, that's wrong!
Alright, there we go. Sorry guys, that took me way longer than it should have because I'm an idiot and I immediately forgot how to do the pathos thing, but we got there.
Expertise shouldn't be overlooked here. If there's anyone to believe, it's the lawyer.
Well, look at that. Damon actually, like, you know, giving what credit where credit is due to somebody else.
Wolfgang has spent his life in the courtroom and on the crime scene. He'd understand the criminal mind in ways we can't possibly imagine. He was even emotionally invested in a murder case he'd never seen before.
Phoenix right over here, fighting for justice, fighting for good.
If his lawyer's intuition
I like to
tells
hope
us
so
that the killer
anyway.
was in the
I like
wrong,
his character so
then we
far.
have no reason to disagree. We're all ultimates for a reason. We need to trust in talent.
Well spoken. If Wolfgang is adamant about the killer's intentions, we should have faith in him.
Yeah, Wolfgang's clearly trying his best for us.
Let's trust in the lawyer and his bargain bin buddy.
Hey! If it means going home, then new guys convinced me.
Perhaps Wolfgang will be our partner.
Right on! Team Wolfgang all the way!
I wonder if Damon's gonna get a little jealous that Wolfgang has taken some attention away from him since he's been kind of leading the courts so far. The what is this called? The trial.
Thank you all for your support.
Well, Eva, do you still disagree?
Eva. I keep calling her Ava. It's the Umaneko. It's like I can't help it. Eva.
Even if I did, it's not worth pursuing.
Does this mean we're done here? Hey! We're disembodied voice! We figured out your stupid case. Now let us leave.
Oh, you're finally done. In all honesty, I stopped paying attention a long time ago.
What? We only went through this case because of you.
Silly me, I have a short attention span. So, just for my own benefit, why don't you summarize the information you've learned? It'll be good practice.
Oh, this is... Oh, is this going to be at the end where I have to put all the things together? Like the comic book. Practice.
Fine. I'll do as you ask. I'll present the truth.
We'll present the truth together. Let's dig into it.
Ah, yes it is. It's time to bring this trial to an end. It's time for the closing argument. During closing argument, you must summarize the case from start to finish. Naturally, your medium will be a comic book. Since the class has a relatively good understanding of the case, some parts of the comic are already complete. But it seems your peers have glossed over the smaller details, judging by those gaps in the story. To fill these gaps, you have been provided a collection of stock panels. Use the WASD keys to navigate your stock and press space bar to select a panel. Hover your mouse over the relative gap and press the left key to insert the panel. If you wish to undo your selection, simply press the space bar again. Don't forget the Q and E keys. Those are how you flip between pages. Alright, by the way, gaps will reveal a hint if you hover over them. If you ever need to revisit this information, the control panel is only one F3 key away. Alright, so this has been a short one, but it is the introduction, so it's understandable. Now stand up straight and fix that tie. We've got a case to close. Alright. Right, Okay, going up the stepladder in the janitor's closet. Where did the killer hide? Okay, so we've got that selected, so space and insert. What was the victim carrying? Victim was carrying a gun. Oh, but we don't have that yet, so we have to go to, it was Q and E. There we go. What did the killer pour into the buckets? How did the killer reach the door frame? Okay, so that's going to be going up the stepladder. How is the trap triggered? Opening the door. Where was, what did the victim do when they were stabbed? I keep forgetting that it's going to be the other way around. So 4 out of 4, but... Oh, that's weird. It hasn't unlocked... Doesn't it normally unlock the, because I've put them all in. Oh, there we go. I just had to. Okay. Clawing at the killer's neck. So I unlocked that one. So they did that when they were stabbed. So you actually have to go over it. There we go. So now we've got all of them. So back this way. Bleach. Space. Select. The controls are like, they're not super complicated, but it's just a little bit different than I'm used to with this. Space, and there we go.
I got it.
All right.
The victim was Kara Koshkinen, the ultimate teacher's aide.
Oh, even the music too. It's so good. It's just like
Right
the games.
Before her death, she was wandering around the academy carrying a large assault rifle. That was probably when our unnamed killer, who was armed with a knife, spotted her.
And decided he'd put her to eternal rest. He slid inside that little janitor's closet, where he began hatching a deadly scheme.
Aye. They needed a way to surprise the victim, who was better armed. The killer grabbed a bottle of bleach from the closet and poured its contents into a bucket.
Kind of a weird thing for a teacher's aide, right? It's like you think someone that might be a little bit more like goody-goody, just walking around with a rifle. But, I mean, if this is a death game, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's because they wanted to blind Kara by splashing the bleach in her eyes.
Sneaky little bastard.
The one thing about Grace is her accent definitely comes and goes. That's the one.
But to do that,
one knock
they
I have
need to
against
set a trap
the
and
voice
catch the
acting so
victim by
far.
surprise. The killer moved a stepladder behind the closet door and climbed up it to reach the door frame. There, they carefully placed the bucket.
That way, when the victim opened the door, the bucket would empty its contents all over her.
After completing this setup, the killer retreated to the far end of the janitor's closet and waited for the victim's arrival. The killer could have made noise to attract the victim's attention. Either way, the victim tried to open the door.
And, the bleach splashed all over her. Her scalp, face, and eyes were severely burned.
Youch!
The killer leapt from his hiding place and began viciously attacking Kara. In his fit of rage and cruelty, he stabbed her from the front 28 times.
While being stabbed, the victim tried to fight back by clawing at the killer. This left the dried blood under her fingernails. However, it didn't deter the killer, and the victim eventually died.
At present, we don't have enough information to reveal the killer's true identity, but their actions haven't been forgotten. That is the truth behind this case. Well, are you satisfied?
A measly 3 acts. Poor Horace would be beside himself.
Who the hell is...
No one cares! We've done your end of the bargain. Now let us out already!
That is what I promised, isn't it? Alright, I'll let you leave this room.
Just the room.
But before I do, may I be frank with you all for a second? This entire time I've been hiding behind a speaker.
Alright, we finally get to see.
My heart tells me you'll react cruelly to it.
I bet it's a dude with a mask, an animal mask. Come on. It's gotta be, right? Like, we've been seeing it all over the place.
However, my head, it raises a compelling argument. Who cares what others think? Shouldn't I get to have a little fun once in a while? Yes.
And I bet he's probably wearing that exact mask, is like that ram mask.
Face to face.
Face to face?
What was that all about?
Everybody, look over there!
Yep, of course, of course. I'm glad they didn't just go with like a Monokuma knockoff. They went with something different.
Toss away those pickaxes, peasants! The walls have finally crumbled. What will you do now that you've reached the other side? Will you treasure this new land, serve it, or will you set it ablaze? Well, peasants, have you made your choice?
Yo, what the fuck is going on?
This person, his voice.
Are you the speaker guy?
Speaker guy? No. You don't address your superiors like that. Within the halls of this academy, you'll refer to me by one name, and one name only. His Highness, the great and powerful Tozu, host of the Killing Game.
Killing Game. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait a bit for the killings, considering that, you know, only the prologue is out so far. Or you can call me Tozu for short. Hey, what do you mean killing game?
The show must go on.
Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case? Quite the contrary. This is only the beginning. Of what?
Why the long face?
Isn't it obvious? You, my dear subordinates,
Blood is rushing.
are going to kill each other. That's not...
Come on.
That's not funny.
But then...
But you said we could go home if we solved the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you peasants an incentive. It's not my fault you took it the wrong way. What are you talking about? You lied to us.
Rubbish. rubbish.
Lied. Oh, no, 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 absolutely not. I'm a fair man, a man sworn to the truth. And if I recall correctly... yeah, just this place. I specifically said you could leave this room, not go home. You sneaky son of a bitch. You're full of shit, man. There you go, losing control of your voice. That's how you know you've lost the argument. Logic is a cowardly thing like that. It'll jump ship the moment it's confronted with a challenge. He didn't lie, did he? He said he never lies. And then we've got Eva, the ultimate liar. So when he said this was Eden's Garden Academy... Bullshit. What am I doing believing someone like him? There's no other way around it. He's lying.
Dude!
Hey, why didn't you tell us about your dumb game sooner? And watch you peasants run away?
Pathetic.
Pfft, I can't host a game without any contestants. Please don't do this. I just want to go home. I want to be with my family. Please, just let me go home.
There's no need to worry.
There's no need to cry, Miss Tolner. Huh? We're all civilized here. No one is going to kill simply because they've been ordered to. What's this? The peasant has a rebuttal.
Let's see.
A match between unprepared, unfit players. You could hardly call that a match. In much the same way, this game you've proposed. A killing game between students who don't have the heart to kill.
Nonsense.
Do you seriously think we'll abandon our morals so quickly?
Hey!
Yeah, that's totally right. We're like super boring people. We don't have what it takes to do something like this.
Indeed.
My heart is terribly soft, softer than the most delicate piece of mochi. When I see a fly in my room, I catch the poor dear in a jar and return her to nature. She will be the first to murder.
I would never.
If someone has to tell you so much that, you know, the type of person that they are, and sometimes it's the little ones that you have to worry about. My mochi heart would melt otherwise.
I see.
That's your argument, is it?
How interesting.
So, what has you so convinced? What do you mean? What makes you think the people in this room lack the heart to kill? Do you even know anything about them besides their names and ultimate talents?
Pathetic.
If you do, then tell me, regarding killing, where do they stand? Are they okay with murder if it's for the greater good? Are they okay with murder if it guarantees their survival? Is where they currently stand on the issue the same as where they're willing to stand? Go on, you've had a couple of hours to get to know everyone. That's plenty of time to learn their life stories, right? Should I take that as a no? Goodness, what a surprise.
Plot twist.
Not. You wouldn't be here all dressed up in that fancy suit if you were so naive.
Such a spoil sport.
Oh, and one more thing. That trial you just did, that was your preparation for the killing game.
Get out.
How? All you did was make us play detective.
Plot twist.
And for good reason. If one of you is killed, the remaining students will participate in the true class trial. Your objective here is simple: uncover the culprit if you can. Using evidence you gathered during the investigation, you will argue who you believe committed the murder. The result will be decided by popular vote, and if you choose the right person, they alone will be executed and the killing game will continue. However, if you choose the wrong person, the guilty party will be set free and the rest of you will be executed instead. Those are the rules of the game. Everyone understand? All of us will be executed? That's not fair.
Isn't this lovely?
Really? I think it's one of our most beautiful rules. Everyone has an incentive to participate in the game, innocent or otherwise.
What's happening?
That's insane. You're treating us like pigs to slaughter.
Such
Nonsense. All of you have the chance to survive this game. Do you think the common butcher is so merciful? By the way, if no guilty party ever escapes, the killing game will end when there are only 2 students left. You may want to remember that, or maybe you don't care. It depends on what kind of person you are. Out of the 16 people here, only 2 will be allowed to survive.
No shot.
2 people, that's hardly better than if someone gets away with murder. I know, that's what makes it so funny. Most of you will die, no matter what, and yet, with every passing trial, you will all cling to life more desperately.
The show must go on.
And that exact mindset is what causes more murders to happen. Aren't these rules simply brilliant? A perfect test of the limits of human compassion?
I have an appetite.
I can't wait to see all of you in action. Ha ha ha. Ah! The madman's loud tinnitus inducing laughter was suddenly cut off by a well-timed strike from behind. Who is that? Of course it was Grace.
A million times, you mangy fucking mutt! I want nothing to do
She about...
with this stupid game!
She's about to die. I feel like she's gonna be the, quote-unquote, the Junko of the first game who just gets skewered because they're going against their master, or going against the headmaster.
Ow, 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 stop it!
I love the idea of, like, she just beats the shit out of him, and they just get to go free because she just kills him. Be like, there, you want murder? I killed you.
Made it clear you won't listen to reason. I'll just make sure you have no arms to kill with!
Do you even listen to when I talk? I'm not the one doing the killing. It's you lot who are...
Grace drove her fist directly into his stomach. She followed it with another blow and another. This is the time where I'm like, yeah, go Grace, go Grace. And when it looked like she wasn't going to be satisfied until he was dead, I saw it. From, she gon' die, she gon' die. From out of nowhere, a tiny red dot appeared on Grace's face.
Hey, stop already. There's a...
But before we could do anything, oh shit, bang. The sound of a gunshot echoed in our ears. Woo. Woo! Grace released the man from her grip. Speechless, she moved her hand to her cheek, which had been nicked by the stray bullet. Oh, that was just a warning shot. That would have been wild if she had just died. Oh. We all looked in the direction the shot came from. The shooter stood silent by the pillar, a trail of smoke rising from the mouth of her rifle. Her mask. The design was a panther instead of a goat, but it was clear she was working with him. You shot at her.
For real?
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. Everyone slowly backed away from Tozu, suddenly fearful for their lives. What a shocking and unnecessary display of violence.
You think?
I was talking about the golfer woman. Well, now that you've become acquainted with our enforcer, Mara, if any of you kids try to jeopardize the killing game, such as by attacking me, she will be there to put an end to your shenanigans.
Pardon me.
Even though she misses her shots? That was just a warning. I assure you, it would be unwise to further test her sharpshooting ability.
In any case...
Regardless, I finally have an answer to your previous question. Eh? You asked me if I knew anything about my friends beside their name and talents. Truthfully, I don't, but I'll continue to trust them as if I do, because they are ultimates. They are charged with the betterment of society. They've proven themselves to be above simple acts of self-interest.
We will not succumb!
Even if you trap us, fire guns at us, and force us to endure farcical courtroom procedures. He's right. Grace was trying to compose herself, still clearly shocked by her run-in with death.
Don't test me.
No matter how weird these guys are, they're talented. Do you really think an ultimate would fall for this bullshit? That's right. My friends and I have too much to live for, and too much to achieve. We won't throw all that away for your killing game.
Don't get it mixed up.
We're all going to escape. We have to. One by one, the students raised their voices in solidarity with Wolfgang. All of them were so confident in what they were saying, so willing to blindly put their faith in each other. And for some reason, it made me sick.
My.
Never underestimate the strength of human connection. I love that. I love any other protagonist would just be like, yeah, the power of friendship and ultimates. And then my guy's like, ew, gross. Never underestimate the strength of human connection. I'm quite familiar with this idea. What kind of captain would I be if I can't handle even a small crew of 15? What is this horrible feeling of contempt? Why do I feel this way when everyone else seems so hopeful? The voice inside me was answered by another.
No.
I was waiting for Eva to say something. Because she's definitely not the type to be like, rah, you know? You've got it all wrong. The students turned their attention towards Eva, surprised by her words. Eh? Do you actually believe no one here will try to kill? You're really naive. I don't know how you made it as a lawyer. Well, instead of resorting to random hominium attacks, why don't you explain your reasoning?
It's the truth.
It's obvious. Compared to normal people, ultimates are more prone to killing, not less. Living with constant praise from the public has ruined our sense of self. If you need examples, just look around the room. Staring directly at Kai.
What a joke.
Excuse me?
Look.
In the outside world, ultimates will do anything to further their own goals. The same is probably true here. Once you realize your dreams can only be achieved if you escape, you'll resort to murder.
Can't you see?
If you continue to convince all of these people to trust each other, they will only be more vulnerable. Unless that was your plan all along. Wow. Is it possible you want to make everyone vulnerable? So that it will be easier for you to kill them. That's
enough.
That's enough. Suddenly, Ingrid stepped in front of Wolfgang protectively. I mean, Eva might not be wrong. Wolfie's done nothing wrong. He has given all of us a vote of confidence. He's almost too good to be true, right? Sometimes with those characters, you gotta suspect him if they just seem like a little bit too good. Yeah, it's something we all needed. Stop trying to turn us against each other, please. The horrible feeling grew stronger as the other students admonished Eva. It grew stronger and stronger, and I knew I had to say something. Eva's right. Huh?
No!
Damon, not you too.
I know.
Look, I get it. You want to make the situation less scary for everyone. But Eva made a good point. All of us have a clear motivation to leave this place, even at the cost of other people's lives. Whether it's to see our families again, or for the sake of our talents.
Don't say that!
No, I would never kill anybody.
That's not it.
Diana, you yourself admitted you had too much to achieve. Don't you see how that's playing into the masked man's hands? This whole we're all ultimates thing is pretty inane anyway. After meeting all of you, it's clear none of us have the same goals.
Hold on.
What are you insinuating? Don't we all carry the same obligation to improve the world we live in? His question angered me more than anything that had been said before. I could no longer suppress my true feelings.
That's wrong.
Look, the title barely means shit nowadays, alright? Most ultimates are just dullards obsessing over some pointless hobby. Their talents don't contribute anything over. Dude, ultimate debater. I'm just saying. Oh, he's got... I just realized the whole thing about the snake thing. We have the whole thing about Eden, the Garden of Eden, the apple, the goats, the tree. He's got the snake, right? It's like Amber Cassidy said. It's just like the religious overtones are so apparent. The only thing they're capable of is leeching off public attention for their own goals. Ouch.
You've got to be kidding me.
Running a business that feeds millions is pointless?
No.
Some of you are an exception, obviously. But come on, there's no way the rest of you can improve the world we live in with your niche fixations.
That was very...
Don't you mean rest of us? You're an ultimate too. Yeah, what the hell makes you so special? I could feel their words worming their way into my soul. What makes you so special? Well, I can actually achieve many things with my talent. I can argue policy, consider ethics and morality. Yeah. Better yet, I was the one who got you guys through that trial.
Really?
Is that really what happened? I remember all of us helping out.
Shrimp?
Yo, I see what's going on. You think you're better than us just because you can say words nobody understands? Well, that kind of stuff is relative. Like, tell me what a dragster is. Do you know? Watch your step, lest you trip and fall from the unparalleled heights of your vanity.
Not good enough.
I'm disappointed in you. Oh, no. No. It's like your mom telling you she's disappointed in you. That's worse than anything. How are you so concerned about making yourself look good when we're in the middle of a death game?
The hell?
Wait, I wasn't trying to. I like that they're calling him out on his bullshit. It was no use. They turned against me, hurling obscenities, scowling, or simply shaking their heads.
Isn't this lovely?
Do I sense anger, hatred, an unquenchable sense of bloodthirst? Well, save that for later. I'm the only person who can spill blood in the courtroom. The elevator will take you back to the killing game arena. That's going to be an awkward elevator ride. We've cleaned up the crime scene and prepared a dorm room for each of you.
Get lost.
Thanks. Now you can get lost?
Good evening.
Okay. He returned to his podium, with the masked woman trailing closely behind. The bizarre mechanism that brought him into the room lowered the two of them into the ground and out of sight.
Hey.
Still, we're not going to kill anyone, right guys? No matter what happens, we're all going to make it out of here, okay? It was only when the madman had left that reality truly began to set in. I'm trapped in a killing game with people who despise me. How did this happen? I just wanted to help. I wanted to make sure we didn't trust each other too easily. And now I'm being treated like the bad guy. Will these people practice what they preach? Will they really refuse to kill? I can't trust anyone here. For better or for worse, it's me versus them. That is so cool. Every other time, Makoto, Hajime, Kaede, Shuichi, they want to believe in other people. And this guy, like, right off the bat, he's sussing out, like, he is so different, where he's just like, I can't rely on anybody. Maybe he'll learn to trust people, or maybe that will get worse, who knows, but I like it. It's different. So cute at the beginning of the end. The beginning of an unfathomable nightmare, an unrelenting despair. The beginning of the killing game. Oh my gosh, that was awesome! They've even got the same music? Oh, I like this. I just love the rest of them have like that scared face, and then there's just Jet. no emotion, no face. That'll be interesting to have someone who, like, you can't suss out what their face looks like. Oh, that's cute. I love that it's just like, you see some of them are trying to be like nice to each other, and then you've just got Damon just like not socializing with people. That was really, really good. Oh man, I'm like, how long do I have to wait for the next part though? Damn. All right, guys. So, I mean, you've heard me gushing throughout this. Obviously, you know what my feelings are about it. That was really, really so well done, and it just makes me so very excited for what is to come next. So I will have to keep an eye on this. I will have to like make sure that I don't miss the next part of this, because up until last week I didn't even know that this game existed, and I can't believe that this has been kept from me. So I'm really glad that I know about it. I got to play it. I feel like I'm very late to the party here. Everybody else seems like to have played it except me. But I want to know your guys' thoughts, like if you played this, or if this is like you're watching this for the first time along with me playing it. What are you thinking about this so far? Your hopes high for this? Who are your least favorite characters so far? I have to say that I said this in the last episode. I don't like Damon as a character right now, but I like that they did something different. Instead of having like the typical protagonist who wants to be friends with everybody and wants to get along with everybody, but also like isn't full of themselves, even though they are an ultimate. He's very different from that. I like Wolfgang. I think he's going to bring a lot to the game. Like, he seems like he should be the protagonist, but he's not. But he seems very like all about justice and stuff like that. But there might be something lurking there. He almost seems a little bit too good to be true. I like Kai just because I think he's going to be a really fun character. I like Cassidy. I think she's going to be fun, like with the game references and everything, as long as they don't lean too much into it and make her cringe. Eva is interesting too. I like her. She's also kind of a different character, where she doesn't mince words, that's for sure. She's one to keep an eye on. Of course, her ultimate talent is also something that is very interesting. So yeah, that will do it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy my playthrough of Project Eden's Garden, and I just can't wait for part 2 of this whenever it's going to come out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and of course when it does come out, I will be jumping on board and playing it. So that'll do it for me. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Kiori Makoto, SM, Revealing Storm, Tequila Mockingbird, Asborn Kennedy, Harry Gazif, iCognito, Jared Fan, Joel Oostman, and Zoran Ether.